What is going on? Welcome to Jiu-Jitsu Outlet. This show is about how training in Jiu-Jitsu and other martial arts is the outlet for us to become better people, improve our mental health, and contribute to society. If you want to support the show, go to jujitsuoutlet.com and check out our exclusive line of apparel made just for Jiu-Jitsu fans. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, coffee cups, and everything you need to live your life and stay comfortable. Check it out at jujitsuoutlet.com. Thanks for checking out the show. Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the interview. What is going on? Welcome back to Jiu-Jitsu Outlet. I'm sitting down with the Afro Samurai, Marco Hutch.
Hey.
What up, bro? You are, I know, you're surprisingly a Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. You're you're one of those purple belts who's not really a purple belt. You're secretly, you're one of those guys that everyone is afraid of. You know, one of those guys.
I can be.
You can be?
I'm a teddy bear though, man.
Dude, well, we just had some great rounds here, Springfield Fight Club. Dude, I just want to jump right into it because we were talking a little bit after training today about martial arts and like what it does for you. I just want to dive right in, man. Like, tell us a bit about your martial arts journey and like what has it done for your life off the mats?
Martial arts has been a part of me like pretty much my whole life, pretty much. Really got into it. Like growing up, my brothers, they were into like traditional martial arts and, you know, I really wanted to get into it. But by the time I moved from Detroit to Branson, Missouri, I really got a chance to like dive deep into it. And, it's changed, you know, the way that I deal with things in life. Like I came up, my dad was a heavy drinker back then. So I would, I was never good enough for him back then when I was, coming up and didn't really have like a lot of good, role models, male models at the time. So I got into a gym in Branson, and once I discovered martial arts, it really like gave me a chance to like take everything that I was going through from my home life and, put it on the mats and redirect that energy to something positive, and that's been a beautiful thing. And I still do it to this day, pushing 30 years old, still do the same thing. That's how, I got through my life, being able to, take the things that we get from the outside world, all the stress and problems, and, redirect that because it's important for us as adults, to have something healthy like, jiu-jitsu outlet, or martial arts outlet. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's powerful. And I think that you're hitting on something really big, and I'd like to talk about this a little more. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, man, first of all.
No problem.
But I just want to say, like, I think martial arts does that for a lot of guys.
Yeah,
like, it really gives them good role models. Yeah. There's a lot of deadbeat dads. Yeah. There's a lot of assholes out there who probably didn't need to be dads, honestly.
For sure,
so,
for sure.
like, what, I guess, what am I trying to say? Like, I guess, how has that shown up in your life? Because obviously your martial arts coach isn't like your dad at home, but like, how is that, I guess, how has that shown up in your life? I guess is a better question.
So like martial arts has been like, like pretty much it gives you the raw form of the way to deal with the world, in life. We're always going to have obstacles. There's always going to be good days. There's always going to be bad days. There's always going to be that balance between like just, peace and chaos. So like when you in martial arts, you spar, you grapple, and you're going to deal with obstacles. And it translates out into the real world because this is what we see every day. We have the good days. We have the bad days. It's all about what you do with that to make it the best. You know what I'm saying? So I've dealt with like, people that really know me, man, I've dealt with so much shit in my life and, still here. And I want to thank that because, martial arts has helped me redirect things in my life, like anything from losing 6 people in a year. I've lost a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend die before. I've had just crazy stuff. Found a roommate in my house dead. And like, there's just been a lot of things in my life. But one thing that's always kept me centered is being able to take the problems from the outside world and, pour it onto the mat, even if I'm just using it to get better or just get, just mental health right. Yeah. It's always been there, you know what I'm saying? So, and it will always be there. So there's been a time in my life where like I had 2 friends, they died back to back. And, I just started up a construction company and like I was leaving Kansas City because I had a friend commit suicide also too, because he was a good artist out there, getting his name out there, but he went through a bad relationship and, he ended up taking his own life. And, and those things like relationships, they can, we pour ourselves into this relationship so it becomes our identity. And then when things don't go right, we lose ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And this man was the most talented, and I love him. It's like my little brother and I miss him. But I lost him. So then I ended up coming out back into the 417 Branson area. And then I had another friend, he got into a wreck after we started up our construction company. He also died. So it wasn't even a year span. I lost 2 people. And I was at a point in my life to where I'm running this construction company or do martial arts. So it's like, do I take the pay cut and just do what I love to do? Or do I continue to work this journey and be, just this working man and like not really happy? It didn't define me. So I had to take that route and go back into the gym and grind and like really pour myself into something that pours into me. You know what I'm saying? So, no counseling, no none of that stuff. Martial arts has always been there, so, and I was at a point in my life too, after those 2, lost their lives. Like I was at a point to where I had to spend 6 hours in the gym, like training to really figure out, do I need to be here or not? I was at that point in my life too before, so martial arts, it has been a lifesaver for sure. It's kept me from doing dumb shit, kept me out of jail, so.
Dude, that's powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sharing that, man. Yeah. I'm sorry that you've gone through all that.
It's all right. It's all right.
That sucks.
Like, you don't pray for an easy life. Pray for a strength to endure a tough one. And that's Bruce Lee says that. Bruce Lee says that, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's no strength without struggle. So it's not like I wanted those things to come, but you just got to make the best when those things come in. Like, it's about how you bounce back from that. And for me, there's nothing that I can do about losing someone, but I can, control what I can do, which is clear my plate, which is going into the gym and then building myself, and, keep myself on a peaceful journey. So.
Man, that's so powerful. Yeah. So you touched on this a little bit already, but I want to dive into the mental health part. Like, what does training do for your mental health specifically? I know you talked just a moment ago about how it helped you when you were feeling suicidal. You were feeling like you might just want to end it all. Like,
for sure.
Can you go a little deeper on that, like the mental health side?
For sure, man. Like, so coming in, like, what I'm saying, like just into a room, like just think about it. Like you come into a room, and you got people there, everybody wants to get better, you know what I'm saying? So you're already surrounded by people who wants to see you win and themselves win already. So that's already a positive. Then once you get into the roles and into the striking and all of that stuff, you're physically getting better. And if you're physically getting better, scientifically proven too, if you're physically getting better, the mental follows. It's just proven. If you can Google this shit, I'm not a doctor or anything, but movement is medicine.
Yep.
All right. So it takes the edge off for me. Anything that I can come into the gym, what I'm saying, like I can leave out feeling a lot better. The endorphins, what I'm saying, you get the endorphins and the feel goods, man. Like it's, even if it didn't change my outside situation, it changed how I can respond to it because like they said, like it's an outlet, what I'm saying? So if you're negatively charged and you got all this charged up and you're not plugged into a healthy outlet, you're not going to get healthy results. Like it's easy to go and get, have a bad day and go to the bar and binge drink and do all the drugs. And then you have another problem faced with that. But if I'm taking everything from the outside world and going into the gym and being around people who wants to get me better and I'm getting them better, what's wrong with that? There's no losing that at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you feel good mentally, stimulated, feel like it's a high almost. So I can recommend anything I can recommend. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I believe that everybody should get into like, jiu-jitsu or kickboxing and just try it out. See how you feel afterwards, so.
Yeah, man. I want to ask you this too. Like, I know you've had a lot of fights over the course of your life. You've done a lot of amateur fights. Now you're a pro fighter. Let's talk about that a little. Like in that time leading up to a fight when you're in camp, can you tell us a little bit about like, how has that affected or impacted your mental health? Like, can you compare who were you before your first amateur fight compared to who you are today mentally?
So I'm a lot stronger, man. So like before that my first amateur fight ever, I was still trying to find my place in life. You know what I'm saying? I did discover the gym, but like, I didn't really know like if this is what I should be doing, you know? And, you know, I've had like 2 years of training prior towards my first amateur fight. And, my first amateur fight, like I wrecked a dude in probably about 45 seconds, first round TKO. And I remember, I was like so mad that I trained so hard to beat this dude so quick. And it's like, man, I didn't get him. But, I'm a different being going through, you know, I went 12-1 amateur, had 3 middleweight titles, and then, like went on a 3-fight win streak, and then I ended up having a 4-fight lose streak. You know what I'm saying? So like I've changed a lot. Like I've had to take the wins, the losses, and then I had to make myself better. And then I'm back on a 2-fight win streak now. And I had some health issues in between those losses. And, you know, like I would say like this is the best I've been ever as a human being, as a martial artist. Like I feel like the coaching aspect of it, the learning aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, I'm a different entity. I'm a different being. So like I feel like everything is like where it should be now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful for the downfalls that I had in my career, and then now I'm back on the up. So like for me, I wouldn't change it for the world at all. You know what I'm saying? I could have easily been one of those fighters that, you know, caked on all of these easy fights and had a clean 10-0 record and just went for favorable fights. But I'm grateful for going through the fire, because now like I'm ready for whatever, you know? Yeah. So yeah.
That's badass. And I think that what you're talking about is this, like you said earlier, the obstacle is everything. Like, have you read that book, The Obstacle is the Way, by Ryan Holiday?
I haven't, but I will check it out now that you recommend it.
It's a great book, man. Yeah. I'll spoil it a little bit for you, but it's all about like, it's not necessarily the whole thing of like, oh, if there's an obstacle, because it's called Obstacle is the Way. It's not really trying to say like, oh, it's good if you have problems, but more like wherever you have difficulty is the path that you're supposed to be towards. Almost like that's your roadmap. Like wherever there's struggle, wherever you really have to like try for it, that's the path. You know, it's like, anyone can go have an easy life, getting a minimum wage job, working at Walmart. It's pretty easy to actually get a minimum wage job and be able to just kind of pay enough for you. But like, if you really want to make it in life, or do something that the history books will remember, or if you want to do something that like the little kid version of yourself would be impressed by, or something that the 80-year-old self version of you would be impressed by, like all those things are hard. It's difficulty. Like, anyway, not everyone's going to be undefeated UFC fighter, and that's okay. Like that's fine. It's way more impressive to see a guy who lost a couple times and then bounced back and then went on another win streak, or didn't, even if you just like, even if you just kept showing up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that guy who just shows up every single day,
you're gonna get better regardless. You're going to, like, there's no way around it. Like, even if you were like a shit athlete and you just keep trying and trying, you're gonna get a little bit more explosive, get a little stronger. Just with jiu-jitsu, you keep plugging in, you're going to get out of it. So the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And that's just with everything. Like if I got any like recommendations for anybody that's coming up in the game, like ask questions always. The more you put into it, you're going to get out of it. And another thing is, don't get comfortable. What I mean by that is like, you're going to get good, but there's always things to work on. You know what I'm saying? There's always things to work on. Sweeps, you know what I'm saying, submissions, like just different concepts, striking, grab, like everything, man. It's just always something to work on. So keep working, you know, keep growing that grass every day, you know? So that's what you got to do. Keep plugging in and don't get comfortable, you know?
Don't get comfortable, man.
Don't get comfortable.
Something you said, it reminds me of a previous guest on this show, Dr. Roddy Ferguson. Something he said that you are guaranteed to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. The only thing you have to do is just never quit. He said, if you show up, if you start jiu-jitsu today, I guarantee one day, if you keep showing up, someday someone's going to give you a black belt. Guaranteed.
For sure.
Just got to keep showing up.
You got to keep plugging in too. And even after, man, like, and that's the thing too. Like I had, you know, I've been around for a while, but like, you know, like I think when you do hit that black belt level, there's, like I was talking about earlier, there's still more things to work on. Like,
that's so true.
And there's guys that like, they get the belt and then they like, that defines me, but it doesn't. Like I could easily like, you know, get my belt and then stop training, and then I'll in my mind think, okay, just because I got this belt that I acquire all these moves. But if that guy's that's in the gym every day, still got the cardio, still got the strength, and been working every day, he's gonna outgrind my ass. So it's one thing, get the belt, but you got to maintain it too. You got to maintain it by working every day. You know what I'm saying? So, and you are always in the gym. Every time I'm here, I see you in the gym all the time, grinding. So that's pretty impressive. Got to show up. Even when you get that belt, keep showing up. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the color define you, because there's always more things to work on. There's always things to get better on, you know? So.
I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but I used to do ninjutsu back when I first started martial arts. And ninjutsu is kind of a bullshit martial art, if I'm being real. The weapon stuff is cool. And some of the techniques are legit. But for the most part, I moved on. I went to judo and jiu-jitsu, but my teacher was great, and he would always like sit us down and he would like teach us about life after class. And one of the things he told us one time is he said that he's always getting people he said he's had a handful of people hit him up over the course of his life and be like, hey, can I come live at your house and train with you? Like, I want to really master this thing. And he's like, I've told every single one of those people the same thing. He said, show up at class twice a week for a year and never miss. And if you can do that, we'll talk about it. And he said, never, not one.
Never miss.
Said not one. He said, not one person has been able to do that. But he said, but the amount of people who will be like, oh, can I pay you extra to come like live at your house and you'll train me privately? He's like, there's no shortcut. He's like, no. He's like, no, you can't do that. Show up at class twice a week. It's like, don't miss
Dedication, man.
He's like, that's the secret.
That's the secret right there. You got, like, chop, like, and I'm not even gonna lie, man. Like, I spent 3 years of my career out there with Kraus too, and like, you know, with all the stuff he got going on, I did learn something. Like, he says it's a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water.
Such a good book.
And like, at first I'm like, Chop Wood, Carry Water, but build and grow. You know what I'm saying? And if you keep that in your mindset, keep building, keep growing, it works. It works. So
I got to read that book. I think there's a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water that I haven't read, but apparently Kraus really likes that book.
Yeah, he likes that book. So I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? And like he would preach that to us every day when I was out there. But and that's one thing that like stuck with me is just like, the more, like, anytime you plug into something, you're going to get the most out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So whether it's feeling good, you know what I'm saying, like the mental health aspect, and just, let me turn it down, or just getting stronger, man. It's the way, man. Martial arts is the way. So I recommend that anybody trying to get their mind right, martial arts. If you want to get stronger, martial arts, faster martial arts, all that stuff, man. But I recommend jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, all that stuff, man. So
I want to ask one last question, man, before we wrap this up. So let's say there's someone listening to this and maybe they're a little bit newer in their journey, like they're a white belt or, you know, new blue belt, or even if they haven't started training yet. And they're listening to this and they want to maybe become like this level of confidence that you've achieved, this level of, I guess, mentality that you're talking about here. Like, do you have any words of advice for them just as they're kind of starting out their martial arts journey?
Any words of advice I got for you? Just don't stop, and there's going to be hard days. You're going to get your ass kicked in the gym, so don't kill the ego. That's what I gotta say. Kill the ego. You can be competitive, but kill the ego. Ego, like this is how I look at it. Ego exiting growth out. When you got that, that's what that means. Ego means exiting growth out. But if you're open-minded to getting your ass kicked, you're going to get better. You're going to find ways. Like, even if you, like, you know, lose this round every day, you got to find the things that work every day, and you'll keep growing. So just keep showing up, keep grinding, and eventually you'll be able to overcome that, you know. So keep plugging in, guys. Keep plugging in.
Keep plugging in, man. I love it. I appreciate you, man. So I know you got a fight coming up pretty soon, right?
It should be in April, so it's kind of like TBA right now, but it definitely will be another fight out here in Springfield. So I'm just grinding, and the people, you know, those that got fights coming up, I'm pouring into them right now. So if they need extra rounds, or, you know, they want to like work on different concepts, I'm an extra body. You know, I fought Bellator, so anything I can help these young up and comers with, I'm there. So.
Hell yeah, man. Well, just anything else you want to end on, or is there anything other words you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Just thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I think we touched everything, honestly, for real. So
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, brother. All right.
Where can people find you if they want to follow you or like learn more about what you're doing?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at The Real Afro Samurai. And then also Facebook, Marco Hutch. I'm on there. I don't really do too much Twitter. My attention span ain't good for that. Or Snapchat. I don't got good attention span for that either. But you can find me on those two. If you guys want to just look at new concepts or what I do on a daily lifestyle, all I do is train. I have no life but training. So
hell yeah. Well, hey, thanks for listening. I'm going to put all the links to connect with Marco down below. Thank you. And, if you're around in April in Springfield, make sure you tune into the fight. I've got, it's going to be a bad night for whoever you're fighting.
For sure, man. I plan to give them hell.
Hell yeah, bro. All right. Much love. Thanks for listening. And, see you on the next show.
See you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Jiu-Jitsu Outlet Podcast. My name's Paul Tokuzolu, and it has been an honor to host this episode and share this information with you. If you want to support the show, make sure you subscribe, leave us a review, and tell us what you think if you're listening on Spotify or on iTunes, and share this with a friend. You can also go to jujitsuoutlet.com and check out our exclusive line of t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, Bluetooth speakers, backpacks, and so much more. Check it out at jujitsuoutlet.com. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, and I hope that you have a great time training this week and that you stay safe and healthy, and see you on the next episode.